Alright guys, so this is the chart of the US dollar. It's looking pretty green. Here is the chart of the pound sterling, not looking too good. And finally, the Japanese yen. Why am I bringing these up? Well, the new UK Prime Minister is pushing heavily to introduce a CBDC. The UK recently talked about a new currency that will combat the USD. This tweet ends off with, "The UK needs Bitcoin." And finally, Japan's international payment system will test plastic cards for a central bank digital currency. Interesting timing. Not only that, but China's currency hit a 15-year low today, and China's central bank already told state banks weeks ago to prepare to sell dollars and buy yen to prop up the local currency. Japan and China are looking to defend currencies. This is how something breaks in the financial system. What is going on, guys? Lottery Stocks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Today we are going to be going over the financial collapse, including the banks, the currencies, how it will affect AMC, some things to do with AMC, and then touch on a few other pieces of news such as war, etc., and then finally touch on the charts. So I took the time to make this video. If you enjoy watching or like the format of the video, please hit that like button. It does help out the channel, and hit that subscribe button because 70% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed. Without further ado, let's get into it. Now, on top of all these failing currencies trying to escape their currency, it brings us up to another point. If this ever did affect the US dollar, which in my opinion it will, but not to the degree that it's affecting them, would the US do the same thing and try and make another currency? What do you guys think down in the comments? And essentially, depending on how high AMC would go, would this maybe even happen? Alright, now besides the fact the Fed is losing billions, wiping out profits that funded spending, the head of the International Energy Agency says the world is in its first truly global energy crisis, and the world has never been so buried in debt. Tightening markets for liquefied natural gas worldwide and major oil producers cutting supply have put the world in the middle of the first truly global energy crisis. A lot have been going on with energy and oil, and the US is actually getting involved in this as well. Also, we mentioned it in yesterday's video, ExxonMobil, the gas company, has earnings Friday. Are you guys going to be playing that? Speaking of that, we will be getting into AMC earnings real quick. So shout out Spence. He says if CEO Adam Aron takes action on the callable bonds November 7th, you could see short covering on AMC stock shortly after. Bond value will traditionally go up, value goes down, so institutions owning the bonds get a 23% yield. Would be logical for them to short the stock. Now, it would be logical, however, it would not be a 100% underlying factor for them to cover. However, with the way the market is starting to pump, which we'll get into on the end of the video when you touch on the charts, it would be. Now, speaking of those bonds on November 7th, AMC actually announces third quarter 2022 results and host earnings on November 8th, the day later. This should be interesting because it also lines up with the chart on a point of interest, or at least somewhere around that zone. Now, Credit Suisse, we bring them up all the time. They're having a lot of trouble in this race, and personally, they're probably going to be the first bank to default. Credit Suisse is racing to finalize the sale of a key unit days before the Bellegarde Swiss Bank is set to give details of a revamp of its big Wall Street division. The Swiss bank is selling billions of dollars worth of assets to help pay. It doesn't matter what they're helping pay for. The fact that they have to sell assets for this is the only piece of news that I wanted to bring out to you guys, and this is the Wall Street Journal. Credit Suisse nears sale of Securitized Products Group. Speaking of banks, China's state banks reportedly ordered to buy back stocks to contain selling. Now that you guys made it halfway through the video, this is going to take 10 seconds. Make sure to hit the link pinned in the top comments and linked in the description because Moomoo is allowing me to give you guys 15 free stocks for just signing up and depositing $1. It takes 5 minutes and it's literally free money. You can also just start a brand new passive income portfolio if you guys like passive income. Start with $1, get your 15 free stocks, sell those stocks, and put it in a high-paying dividend stock. You're really only risking $1. Plus, Moomoo is an awesome platform to use. That link is down below and pinned in the top comments. Let's get back into the video. Okay, so credit card debt in the US hits all-time high of $930 billion. The Federal Reserve is starting to realize that inflation is a smaller, quote-unquote, black hole of pain than previously thought, and a pivot or pause on rate hikes could lead stocks to rally more than 16% by the end of the year. Do you guys believe this? In the comments down below, because what we're going to be seeing is the Federal Reserve saying one thing and the other half of the Federal Reserve saying another, and in my opinion, there is one indication of the stock market going to go back up, and it's big money and it's cryptocurrency. In my opinion, this is where they store extra capital, and when that starts to rise, in my opinion, it is a comfortable time to invest back into the market. What are you guys' thoughts on this in the comments? Now, stock buybacks have never been more popular with US companies, as repurchasers are on track for a record of $1.25 trillion. Economist experts says US home prices to fall as much as 20% in 2023. Will you guys be buying a home, and or will you be buying one to rent out and start a passive income journey through real estate? JP Morgan CEO says there are bad things on the horizon that could put the US in a recession. Again, we talked about this. One side says one thing, one side says another. In my opinion, the S&P 500 is still down 20% or more from all-time highs, and usually when you have a correction or a crash, this is the range for it to get a bounce. So even if you didn't time the exact bottom and it has more room to fall, I think you will be good in the long run if you're investing in index funds and ETFs for 5 years or more. Saudi energy minister says people are depleting their emergency stocks and using them to manipulate the market when their original purpose was to alleviate supply shortages. Sounds like Citadel. US Treasury Secretary Yellen says we cannot rule out the possibility of a recession. And US Congressional Progressive Caucus says it withdraws letter to WH that urged diplomatic negotiations to Ukraine war. Speaking of war, Putin says we need to make more decisions about a special military operation in Ukraine as soon as possible. Now, Jim Cramer says that the chart of the US dollar says that it is probably peaking, which you always want to go against Jim Cramer. You always want to go against the grain. I don't know what this guy is talking about. However, it is very high, and it is potential that he may be almost correct on this, but saying Jim Cramer will ever be correct is not something that can come out of my mouth. So what do you guys think about this down below? Finally, before we get into the charts, just a nice side piece of information. Elon Musk tells bankers he plans to close the $44 billion Twitter acquisition deal on Friday. And for people saying Elon Musk is under investigation for this and that, the White House came out earlier today and said that that is false. Now let's get into the charts. A quick reminder, if you haven't liked the video, please hit that. I'll be sitting back waiting for you guys to do so. Okay, so the S&P 500 has the '08 overlaid on it, and we talked about this in previous videos. However, I made a statement saying that I don't think the market bottom has been priced in. However, I am getting a little bit worried because we broke over one key trend line that I have been watching. However, this does not state that we are actually back in a bull market, as it would have to break highs of about 410 bucks, that last trend line that I have drawn out. Looking back at something like this, historically, when it starts to rip pretty fast, it usually means it broke the downtrend. However, I'm not convinced, and the reason I'm not convinced is because as of right now when I'm filming the video, we're just under 50 million in volume traded, and in my opinion, for the S&P 500 to have a quote-unquote rebound or bull market rally, you're going to need to see volume exceeding 100 million, so well double this in my opinion, for it to be a legitimate bull buyback, and that is just my opinion. Do you guys think the market has bottomed? Again, I don't think it's a bad time to buy though. Now, ticker symbol SHLDQ, Sears, which is an over-the-counter stock, is probably very sketchy to trade as market makers control even more in the OTC market, is up 150% on the day. Now, for your tinfoil hat theories, Adam Aaron came out with a tweet. He accidentally said Sears instead of Seats, which I don't think it's anything to do with each other because those letters are right next to each other on the keyboard. However, Sears just came out of bankruptcy after he put that in the tweet, which is pretty interesting, and you can definitely put a theory together on it. But speaking of that, if you overlay Ethereum Classic and AMC on Sears, you will actually see that all three get a slight pop at the same time. Do you guys think this is correlation between the S&P 500 rallying or correlation between the three? Now, the US dollar is down almost 1% today, at least the futures are, and we talked about how AMC plays inverse the US dollar. If the US dollar has peaked like Jim Cramer said, then AMC could start to see a rally. Speaking of that, let's touch on the AMC chart. Okay, so in the video yesterday, I said the rest of the week AMC should have a rally because we've been tracking this cycle. And if you guys have been keeping up with the channel, you would have caught this. So just make sure to have post notifications on or be subscribed to the channel so that you could have caught this 6% gain and or buying calls, a 60% gain per contract. I still think for the rest of the week, AMC has more room to run. With that being said, the S&P 500 also might run, but until the volume kicks in, I personally won't be convinced. And until you see a legit rally in Bitcoin or Ethereum, I also won't be convinced. However, November 7th and November 8th we talked about falls right on where the cycle would bottom out in the beginning of the cycle, which is really interesting. You either see a catalyst there or you see this run lead into an extended run like you saw back in May, January of 2021, and we ran up to $70. There's two scenarios that I think could play out, and honestly, I think they're very likely because AMC does not have much more room to fall. It was already at sub $5, or sub $6, I'm sorry. So I personally think that there is a lot more upside than downside. Overall, guys, take a look at Bitcoin. It is up almost 5%, but again, big money is going to move this a lot more than 5% when the market is back in a true rally, in my opinion. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video or took something out of value from the video. If so, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment down below, and share this with your grandma, your mom, your friends, whoever it is that it has to be shared with. And also watch my passive income video because I really like that video. I put it up a few days ago for the best dividend stocks to buy. Also, guys, make sure to get your 15 free stocks pinned in the top comments, linked in the description. Again, if you want a nasty crypto platform that you can trade crypto, MEXC Global will also be linked in the comments. Going through my link will give you access to shortcuts and sales. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.